Hi, I'm George, and I'll be showing you how you can remove a person from a photograph just like that. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to learn more about Photoshop Elements, check out my complete training course. There's a link for that right down there in the description. And let's get to this project. First thing I'll do is just to open up the original image. If you want to work along with this project, you can find the download link for this in the description. Let's get that other one out of the way there. There we go. Now the first step on this is to take the person here and copy them onto a brand new layer that will allow us then to do our fix on the background here. And for that, because we have this overlap and some of the cloth fabric is almost exactly the same on both sides, I'll be using the polygonal lasso tool right up here. Okay, and also let's zoom in and make this as easy as possible. There we go. And I'll start right up here in the middle of the brim of the hat. Now with this tool, take your time, just click and give it a beat and then click again. If you click too fast, it'll collapse the selection just like that. So take your time when using this tool to go around and just make a nice clean selection. And the nice thing about this is that you can choose exactly where you want to put your point each time, and then Photoshop Elements comes in and fills in a line between that. If you're going around a curve, especially a small curve like right here, just a couple of little dots in there, very close together. So the more of a curve you have, the closer the dots should be. The less of a curve, you can put your dots further apart. And if you need to move the picture because you're down against the edge like this, just hold the space bar down and you can then grab the picture and give it a push like that. Now in some of this, I'm going to lose a little bit of hair right over that section in here because there's no way to clean that out successfully. We have a little bit of a halo happening in there. But I think we can get away with that just by staying close to the regular part of the hair right down here. That's not important for the picture. And then the rest of the hair should be just fine. And again, take your time with this tool and work around and just kind of sit back and relax as you're doing this one particular step. Again, the nice part about this is you can very carefully choose exactly the spot you want to be on. Okay, I'm going to put the rest of this step into fast speed here, high speed motion, and I'll zip through it pretty quickly, and then I'll come back here and bring the audio back up again in just a very short time. And there's a selection. Now right down here it's a little bit rough because of the hair overlapping onto the figure in behind, so I'm going to zoom in on that one spot right down there. Here, go back to our selection tool, and we use the refine edge on that. I'll just click on refine edge. And I normally use mine set here with the overlay option. It just makes it easy to see. I'll give it a smart radius of just 1 pixel just to help just a little bit. It doesn't need much down here. And then with this tool, you come in and you brush right in against that edge, and then Photoshop Elements goes in and refigures and does a much better selection for you. And it's only needed right along this little bit of hair right in there. Everything else is just fine. Okay, once that is done, you can go over here and output this to a new layer with layer mask. Choose OK. And there we go. And if there's any little spots in here, you can clean that up by painting onto the layer mask itself. Black hides, white shows. But this should be okay. It's a pretty clean selection in there. Now the reason for that selection is so that we can then paint over here and do some clone stamp work to get rid of this person in here and not worry about that. So for that, I'll come down to the background layer, right click, and let's duplicate that layer. Choose OK. And for the first thing, I normally like to try using the content aware fill. See if I can speed things up for us, and I'll use the standard lasso tool this time. And I'll come just around the figure, not right up against the figure, but just around the figure just a little ways. There's a little bit of space in there. And we'll go clear around over to this side, and then still staying outside of the figure. It's not going to be perfect. This will take some cleanup, but this could help speed the process up a little bit for us. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. We'll just check. Go to Edit, come down to Fill Selection, and choose Content Aware Fill right here. Blend mode is normal, opacity at 100, and choose OK. And there we go. Actually not too bad. It's pretty good up in here. It's pretty good right over here, and we can fix it right down there just a little bit. but we need some work right over in this section here. Okay, now just deselect that. Now sometimes if you try it a second time, it may actually work a little bit better. So we'll try that again. Just get one last shot in here. We'll get into this area right down here, and again come into this figure for this side of that, and right over here, and get one more shot. Fill selection, same thing, choose OK, and that's almost good enough. So deselect. Now we can use the clone stamp tool and fill in or fix in the rest of these problems. Now I'll have mine set at a pretty good size. You want to have this large enough so that it gives you some detail around the brush. That's too big, obviously, so I'm thinking right around 150 maybe. I'll just type that in. 150. That's pretty good. And it's a soft edge brush. That's very important. You want to have a soft edge brush on this so you don't see any edges. Now, I'll go over here somewhere. And we have these lines. You can see right there, like the water line here, and this water line here, and that water line there. You want to follow those lines across. I'll start on this one down here. I'll come over here someplace. Use the Alt key, and I'll select from right there. And you can see how you can see just a little bit of that in there. That is the clone overlay right down here. I have it set to clip and show overlay, and that's perfect. Then I can just match that water over in here. There it is, just kind of match that in and then clone in from that point. Now we only need to go just a little ways into that other figure, and we're fine. And it goes down to the water. That's good. Take it clear down here just a little bit. And see here we have a duplicate here and there. I want to get rid of that. So I'm going to go to the spot here, Alt click here, and just one spot over that. Let's now do this top section. Same thing, go over here to the water, grab that, and again match that water in right here. And then just pull it straight across and go into that figure. And let's do the same thing right up here. Match that a little bit, and then into the figure. And that looks pretty good right there. Now down here I want to have some of this ground back in, some of the shoreline, so I'm going to come right in here, click into there, and I'll put that right about there. And let's bring that back in again. And do that one more time. Need some over in here. There we go. And I want to get some of that water in there, so I'll just grab that edge and then paint that in with a little bit of that water effect right in through there. And I think that's pretty good. There's a little bit of roughness right in here. I'm going to see if I can get that with a bit of this edge right over here. And that looks pretty good. So we've gotten rid of that one person, but things still look weird here. That's why we made that copy up here onto a new layer. I now show that copy again. She comes back in, and there we go. We've now successfully removed that person in behind. Looks a little odd right in here, like I'm seeing a little edge. Let's just double check to see what I'm seeing right there. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of something in there, not really sure what. So let's do a little more clone stamp right in there. Back to the clone stamp tool. Come back over here. Again, this is just a bit more of this stuff right there. I'll grab the Alt key and click on that and come in, and I want to just do a little bit right there. I think that's all I need. Bring our top layer back in again. There we go. That fixed that little section. Now, on this kind of a remove, a couple things you need to worry about. The biggest one is that you can only remove a person who's behind somebody else. I couldn't take this person out because there's no way to replace that missing arm on that person. So you can only leave the person that's in front, and you can remove the person in behind. And the next thing is, if you have anything like this bit here where the water is going here and it's dark and it's not a wave yet and the wave is broken on this side, you want to hide where that happens underneath the body of the new person. You can see that I've done that right there. I've taken it clear across until it's inside here because I really couldn't show the curl right there where it was changing. So just hide that bit behind the figure and you're fine. Okay, if you like this video, hit that like button, click on share, click on subscribe. Make sure you check out my complete training course for Photoshop Elements if you really want to learn how to use this great photo painting program. And I'll see you next time.